Hi friends, welcome to my channel Agri Achievers, a smart way to success. And already we have seen 5 parts of the agronomy, and today I am going to show you the 6th part of agronomy, and we discuss about the important points which are there in the agronomy, which is related to tillage and it's related to tillage types, and every important point I have to discuss. The mechanical manipulation of soil with tools and implements for obtaining conditions ideal for seed germination, seedling establishment and growth of crop is known as tillage. Tillage is nothing but it is a mechanical manipulation of soil. Or why we do mechanical manipulation for soil? For the seed germination or seedling establishment and growth of crop. For this purpose we do the manipulation to the soil. Okay, and there are depth of the tillage. Based on the depth of the tillage, there are three types, which are deep tillage, which is a depth of in centimeters 25 to 30, medium deep tillage 15 to 20 centimeters, and shallow tillage, which is up to 10 centimeters. And year round tillage, these are the types. In that, year round tillage, here the tillage operations are carried out throughout the year in dry farming areas. The name itself, year round, that means the throughout the year. Here minimum, optimum or reduced tillage, minimum or optimum or reduced tillage. It is the tillage system aimed at reducing the number of tillage operations to the minimum level. As its name shows, its minimum tillage, so to reduce the tillage operations to minimum level. What are those minimum levels? That means which optimum levels we have to do the tillage, that is for necessary for better seed bed preparation, rapid germination for maintenance of optimum plant stand. These are the minimum conditions which we are used to the tillage operations. Forms of minimum tillage. In this minimum tillage there are different forms. Row zone tillage. After the primary tillage with plough, harrowing is done only in crop row zone. Name itself, crop row zone. Row zone means crop row zone tillage. Plough plant tillage. After primary tillage, special planter is used for pulverizing the soil, sowing the seed and covering the seed. That means ploughing the seed. Wheel track planting. After primary tillage, the tractors are used by their wheels for pulverization, sowing and covering of seed. Conservation or mulch tillage. The objective are to achieve soil and water conservation and energy conservation through reduced tillages operations. Conservation tillage changes soil properties in ways that affect plant growth and reduce water runoff from fields. Conservation in the case of which conservation, friends? Conservation of soil and water. That's why we have to conserve soil and water, so these tillage operations are carried out. Here, zero tillage or no till system. Zero tillage. This system of zero tillage I have already explained in the previous videos. Zero tillage was introduced by United States of America. Why they introduced zero tillage? Because due to the price hike in the year 1975 to 77, there are high in fuel prices. For that they introduced zero tillage, in which the cost of operations of the field will be reduced. It is an extreme form of minimum tillage. Already we studied about minimum tillage, and this tillage, zero tillage or no till system, is extreme to that minimum tillage, where primary tillage is completely avoided. That means preparation of land is completely avoided, and secondary tillage is restricted to crop zone. See friends, primary tillage is completely avoided and the secondary tillage is restricted only to the crop zone, that means the formation of the seed bed only. 4 operations, namely cleaning the narrow strips over crop rows, that means to clean the strips over the crop rows, open the soil for seed insertion, placing the seed and covering the seed. These 4 operations are carried out only in the zero tillage. Here the question arises, they have given the 4 operations and they also give the another operation like removing of stubbles, and they asked that which of the following is not an operation of zero tillage. That stubbles are not removed in the zero tillage because it comes under primary tillage operations. So primary tillage is completely avoided. So the right answer is removing of stubble. Seed treatment is done for many purposes such as protection against pests and diseases, inoculation of biofertilizers, and inducing drought tolerance. Seed hardening. It is done to induce drought tolerance in emerging seedlings. It is a process of soaking seeds in chemical solution and drying to induce tolerance to drought. Sowing at optimum soil moisture. An effective rainfall of 20 to 25 millimeters, which can wet a depth of 10 to 15 centimeters, is needed for sowing. Moisture stress at or immediate after sowing adversely affects germination and establishment of seedlings. Time of sowing. Optimum time of sowing is indicated by adequate rainfall to wet seed and continuity of rainfall after sowing. Optimum depth of sowing. When seeds are sown on surface or at very shallow depth, germination and seedling growth are affected when surface soil moisture dries up. These are the examples. Pearl millet and minor millets are sown at a seed depth of 2 to 3 centimeters. Pulses, sorghum, sunflower are sown at 3 to 5 centimeters. These are the knowing things, friends. There is no need to explanation because we know all these things, but we have to know these things, right? The set line cultivation. It is a form of minimum tillage practice predominant in Saurashtra region. Saurashtra region is nothing but Gulf of Kutch, and that means in desert area in Gujarat, which is present in the state Gujarat, which is called as Saurashtra region of India, where farmers are adopting the practice of continuously cultivating, manuring and sowing wide spaced crops in the same line or row year after year. Here same line and row, the same line, friends. Here we are not talking about the field, we are talking about the same row. Yeah, every year after year, they crop the seeds, they placed the seeds in the same row. Soil crusts are hard layers that develop at the soil surface due to action of raindrop or irrigation water and subsequent drying. Soil crusts often hinder the emergence of seedlings and hence establishment of crop stand. Soil erosion. See, friends, we are know about soil erosion, that is the removing of the soil particles from the upper surface layer of the soil. Here, soil erosion is the process of detachment of soil particles from the top soil and transportation of the detached soil particles by wind and or water. If it done by wind, it is called wind erosion, and if it done by water, it is called as water erosion. Physiographically, India is divided into three regions as follows. Here, Himalayan regions, high degree of seismicity of the area, very steep slopes, weak geological formation and improper land use practices accelerate erosion losses. Gullying, landslides and slips are most common. In the Himalayan region, gullying, landslides and slips are more common. Gangetic plains. Major problem in this region are riverine erosion. Gangetic plains means, we know the name of Ganga, river Ganga river, and the Ganga river means predominant of water. It consists of major water. So here the main problem will riverine erosion, drainage, saline and alkaline soil conditions. Peninsular region, main problem of this region are rill and gully erosions. Losses due to erosion. Here the question comes, which of the following is not a losses due to erosion, and given some other thing not beyond these things, so we have to know these things. What are the losses due to erosion? Loss of fertile topsoil, loss of rainwater, loss of nutrients, silting up of reservoirs, damage to forests, reduction in soil depth, floods, adverse effects on public health, loss of fertile land and economic losses. Types of erosion. Here, geological erosion, which also called as natural or normal erosion, is said to be in equilibrium with soil forming process. It takes place under natural vegetative cover completely undisturbed by biotic factors. This is very slow process. Okay, friends. Accelerated erosion is due to disturbance in natural equilibrium by the activities of men and animals through the land mismanagement. Accelerated erosion means geological erosion means it is a natural process. It will be not affected by anything. It will be done by the nature itself. As the accelerated, where it comes to accelerated erosion, the man and animals are the reason for this type of erosions. Based on the agents causing erosion, erosion is divided into water erosion. Loss of soil from land surface by water, including runoff from melted snow and ice, is usually referred to as water erosion. Major erosive agents in water erosion are impacting or falling raindrops and runoff water flowing over soil surfaces. Here, I have to given the small point here. Individual raindrops strike the soil surface at velocities up to 9 meters per second, creating very intensive hydrodynamic forces at the point of impact, leading to soil particles detachment. Here the question comes, what is the velocity of the raindrop? It is nothing but 9 meters per second. This is very important to memorize this point. Forms of water erosion. Here, these are the different types of water erosion, and I didn't need to explain, as you know it's very well. Sheet erosion, that means you know that in the name itself it shows the sheet. It is a uniform removal of surface soil in thin layers by rainfall and runoff water. And the important thing is this, here the most extensive, different books gives different things, but as per the ICR, sheet erosion is the most dangerous erosion for which is in erosion form of water. So when the question asks what is the most dangerous form of erosion through water, then you have to keep the option as sheet erosion only. Okay friends, different persons and different books shows different thing. As gully erosions are, more books are showing the gully erosions, but not, it is a sheet erosion. Rill erosion, when runoff starts, channelization begins and erosion is no longer uniform. Rills are small channels which can be removed by timely normal tillage operations. Okay, gully erosions, name itself gully, that means rills are smaller parts and gullies are, when rills become more larger it becomes gully. It is an advanced stage of water erosion. Size of the unchecked rills increases due to runoff and gullies are formed. Here see, size of the rills are increased and gullies are formed, right? Ravines, here the important word ravines, we never hear these words ravines. They are manifestations of, these are the manifestations of a prolonged process of gully erosion. They are typically found in deep alluvial soils. They are deep and wide gullies indicating advanced stage of gully erosion. When gully erosion becomes more advanced, then it forms ravines. Landslides occurs in mountain slopes when the slope exceeds 20% and width is 6 mm. Generally, landslides causes blockage of traffic in ghat roads. We know that landslides which are finally seen in the mountain slopes. Stream bank erosion. Here also new word, stream bank erosion. Small streams, rivulets, torrents, hill streams are subject to stream bank erosion due to obstruction of their flow. And here the important question which where we have seen the important question friends, we have seen in the sheet erosion. Remember that sheet erosion. Estimation of soil loss by water erosion. Based on the mechanism and factors influencing soil erosion, a universal soil loss equation USLE developed by Wishmeyer in 1959 is most useful for the predicting soil loss due to water erosion. Wishmeyer friends. Remember the word Wishmeyer. Here the question can, universal soil loss equation was given by Wishmeyer, and the equation given by the Wishmeyer for the estimation of the soil loss is called universal soil loss equation USLE. And what is the full form of USLE, universal soil loss equation? These are the questions which came from this, and this equation may not be asked for anymore. If they asked, please remember this equation. If they asked this equation, they just remove one word from this. They just skip one word and what is the fill in the blank. They ask like this, but complete equation is not asked till now. Wind erosion. Erosion of soil by the action of wind is known as wind erosion, as we earlier know, and in the name itself showing that saltation. See friends, in the wind erosion, the question comes here. Saltation is a dash type of erosion. It is a wind erosion, because we know that saltation, we think about other things. Saltation means in the oceans taking salt and preparing salt, we think about that. But here saltation is a type of wind erosion. You have to keep this as answer as wind erosion. It is the first stage of movement of soil particles in a short series of bounces or jumps along the ground surface. After being rolled by the wind, soil particles suddenly leap almost vertically from the initial stage of movement in saltation. The size of soil particles moved by saltation is between 0.1 to 0.5 mm in diameter. This process may account for some 50 to 70% of total movement by wind erosion. Here again the important point, the diameter of the soil particles which are gone through saltation is 0.1 to 0.5 mm diameter only. And about 50 to 70% of the soil which is degraded through saltation is, that means wind erosion is by saltation. That means, as we studied previously, in the sheet erosion is the most prominent erosion in water erosion, like that in wind erosion the most prominent erosion is saltation. Okay friends, surface creep. Rolling and sliding of soil particles along the ground surface due to the impact of particles descending and hitting during saltation is called surface creep. Coarse particles longer than 0.5 to 2 mm diameter are moved by the surface creep. This process may account for 5 to 25% of the total movement. Suspension. We know the suspension, like that movement of fine dust particles smaller than 0.1 mm diameter by floating in the air is known as suspension. Suspensions usually may not account for more than 50% of total movement. Soil conservation. Measures of water erosion control. How we conserve soil means, by water erosion we have to take some measures. These are called agronomical measures, mechanical measures or engineering measures, forestry measures, and agrostological measures. In agronomic measures of soil conservation, these measures are effective in low rainfall areas, particularly in fairly erosion resistant soils having gentle slope which is less than 2%. Here the important question is here is slope is less than 2%. Here the question asks, the agronomical measures of soil erosion takes place when the slope is -%, that is less than 2%. The different agronomic measures included, and these are the agronomic measures. Directly they give the question that strip cropping is a dash measure of soil conservation like agronomical measures, or the question come like this, which of the following is not a agronomical measure for soil conservation, and below something is not given, and in this, beyond these 9 things they give a mechanical measures like weeding by a tractor, that is come from mechanical measures. So we have to identify that. And what are the agronomic measures included? Land preparation, contour cultivation, choice of crops, strip cropping, crop rotation or cropping system, cover crops, mulching, application of manures and fertilizers, application of chemicals. These are the agronomic measures of soil conservation. Mechanical measures or engineering measures of soil conservation. Mechanical measures usually involves construction of mechanical barriers across the direction of flow of rainwater to retard or retain runoff and thereby reduce soil and water loss. The mechanical measures include, here also the same point exists. Here mechanical measures are included here: contour bunding, graded bunding, bench terracing, gully control, plugging vegetative barriers. Beyond this, they have given some agronomical measures, like in this question also they give agronomical measures. We have to identify that. So we have to remember these things. Fertilizer used in dry lands. Alternate source of nitrogen. See friends, fertilizers, as we think about the fertilizers, we come into the mind that is NPK. In that NPK there are several alternate sources of nitrogen, which includes organic manures, biofertilizers, green manuring, introduction of legumes in cropping systems, etc. These are the alternate forms of nitrogen, source of nitrogens. Introduction of legumes in cropping system. Legume being a biological nitrogen fixing crop. Here, see friends, this is the important question. Legume is a dash crop. It is a biological nitrogen fixing crop, and if identify the below the biological nitrogen fixing crop, and they give some options, you have to keep the legume as the answer. Should become a part of cropping system. Legumes in a cropping system contribute to the extent of 25 kg nitrogen per hectare. See friends, it is the very important. Per hectare. It is per hectare. You have to remember this. What? 25 kg nitrogen per hectare. If you plant the legumes in a field, they give a nitrogen of 25 kg nitrogen per hectare. It gives 25 kg nitrogen to the field. Organic recycling. Conjunctive use of FIM and organic waste improves the productivity of soil, especially sandy loam soils, by improving their moisture retention capacity. Rhizobium culture. Inoculating legumes with rhizobium could not meet with success for increasing nitrogen fixation under dryland conditions, probably due to unfavorable environment, especially prolonged soil moisture stress periods during crop seasons, high temperature stress, and deficiency of other nutrients. Here rhizobium, why you use rhizobium culture means to increase in nitrogen fixation under dryland conditions, we have to use the rhizobium. Integrated nutrient management, INM. We know that integrated nutrient management system is there, and in this system, what about this? It envisages the conjunctive use of organic manures, crop residues, biofertilizers, legumes in crop protection, green manuring, and need-based chemical fertilizers for sustained crop production. Biofertilizers. Here the example of biofertilizer is azospirillum, commonly found in association with roots of cereals and grasses. High nitrogen fixing capacity, low energy requirement, and abundant establishment in the roots of cereals and tolerance to high temperature are responsible for its suitability to dryland conditions. It has been largely tested in sorghum and bajra and can substitute up to 20 kg. Here see friends, biofertilizer substitute up to 20 kg nitrogen per hectare. As we previously studied it in this, the legumes which substitute up to 25 kg nitrogen per hectare. Vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza has found to influence yield of several crops like bajra, finger millet, sorghum, groundnut, pigeon pea, cowpea, etc. by increasing. Here it increases phosphorus intake. See friends, it increases P intake. VAM is increases P intake. Phosphate solubilizing bacteria. Phosphate solubilizing bacteria. PSB also received considerable attention. Example, Bacillus species. Okay, it increases phosphorus uptake. VAM increases phosphorus uptake. Fertilizers use efficiency in dryland agriculture. It refers to kg of produce per kg of plant nutrient fertilizers applied. Factors affecting fertilizer use efficiency: choice of cultivars or varieties or varietal selection, timely sowing, establishment of adequate crop stand, time and method of fertilizer application, moisture conservation practices, and timely weed management.